Hello and welcome once again to Frank and Hopeful. Well, it's not often I'm wrong and Frank's right, but thankfully last weekend was one such occasion. We sat in these very seats a week ago and I predicted a comprehensive defeat, I think, for Hartlepool United at Sheffield Wednesday. Francis, on the other hand, ever the optimist, predicted a draw. And as I said, thankfully, Frank was right. 2-2 down at a wind-swept Hillsborough on Saturday, and it really was a valiant draw gained thanks to Tony Sweeney's stupendous 88th minute equaliser. It was a cracking strike. Frank got a lovely photo of it. Be sure to buy today's Hartlepool Mail to see that, another rarity. But Frank, what was your thoughts on the game?
Not one of the best, but the result was great. The result meant a lot, and it was away from home again. But it was good. It was solid.
Rode that luck at times, fair to say.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, and a bit of pressure on the referee for the decision on Peter Hartley. Maybe we'll come back to that. Yeah, certainly rode the luck, but a well-deserved point. Yeah.
Overall, I'd go along with that. Certainly well-deserved. A scrappy game at times, but nonetheless, for the conditions, I thought a very entertaining one. I really enjoyed it. Looking back at the narrative of the game, a couple of early chances for Sheffield Wednesday. Scott Flinders, Neil Austin in particular, did really well with a couple of goal-mouth blocks, and then came, as Frank alluded to there, the big talking point of the game really. Just before half-time, Peter Hartley tangled with Gary Medine with the Sheffield Wednesday striker through on goal. It looked for all the world to me to be a red card, but Evan Horwood has quite cannily managed to get himself in position after the foul has been committed for me and give the impression of covering. Is that what saved Peter?
Yeah, he kept on running. He kept running, and by the time the linesman had seen the foul and looked across, Evan was probably there. Now, something Hartlepool United don't do, and a lot of people say they don't, is they don't harass officials. They don't get in their face, and the manner in which they did it on Saturday, but they didn't do it in an aggressive manner. Peter went across pulling his shirt, saying he was pulled, maybe put a little bit of doubt. Captain come across and is pointing across to where Evan ended up, and for me it worked because the referee was running down. He was going to his back pocket where he got his red card. He was for sure. And of course Sheffield, I don't think they put pressure on to get him sent off.
I think they thought it was going to be a red card regardless.
I think they accepted that it probably was, and this time it worked for Pools. He stayed on, and then he went to score the opening goal.
Well, of course he did, yeah. Who else but Peter Hartley was going to score the opening goal 2 minutes after half-time. A fantastic header from Evan Horwood's swirling corner, and then it was a little bit backs to the wall after that, Frank.
Oh, yeah, they were always going to come at us, weren't they? The crowd was starting to get at them. What, you're losing at home to lowly Hartlepool? Come on. They really got stuck in. And so did the manager. You could see him, he was getting really animated on the sidelines, wasn't he? He was up and he was down, and he was actually encroaching into Hartlepool's technical area. He was being a bit cheeky there as well, you know. But that's his job, and it worked for them because it got them going, it got them working hard, didn't it?
Substitute Jermaine Johnson came on and went past Evan Horwood a little bit too easily. That's not to have a go at Evan. I thought he had a good game, but could have done better for the goal. That makes it 1-1, and then with 15 minutes to go, that man Hartley again at the thick of it. A poor clearance falls straight at Gary Medine, and the Gateshead-born striker made no mistake, lashing through Scott Flinders. It's 2-1 with 15 minutes to go. The home tails are up, and it's only looking like a home victory, but then up pops Tony Sweeney. 2 minutes left on the clock, a 25-yard volley, and it hasn't really fell for Tony in front of goal of late, Frank, but on Saturday it certainly did.
And he knew what he was doing when he hit it. He seen the keeper was just off a wee bit. When he hit it, you know, obviously we've got the picture of that, but I thought it was going right up. I thought it went that high, it came down with snow on top of it, you know, and over the top and into the back of the net. I think he just looked for a minute.
Yeah, he couldn't believe it.
And then he went off, and boy did he celebrate. You know, and good to him, because that's the Tony Sweeney that we're missing. That's the guy that hasn't been around all season, and hopefully that might just give him that little bit of confidence that players always say they need sometimes. They need something to go right for them. A speculative shot like that, he's going to say he meant it, but
no, you're dead right, Frank, as well. And Tony said afterwards, it's funny enough, it's our back page today. He hopes that little bit of luck in front of goal could herald a change in fortune for himself and the team in front of the posts. And I thought Tony was one of several players who really gave a marked improvement in terms of their performance on Saturday. If you look back to Neil Cooper's first game in charge, Frank, it was 4 miles down the road at Sheffield United. There was a million miles between the two performances on Saturday.
It may as well have been on the moon, to be honest. Really, it was, wasn't it? Because there was the type of performance down at United that a team didn't want to do in front of a new manager. The performance up at Wednesday was what they want to do in front of a new manager. You know,
how much of that's down to Neil? In 3 weeks, 21 January days, Hartlepool United have come a long way in a short space of time. How much of that is down to Neil Cooper?
A lot of it's got to be down to him. The consistency of it's got to be down to Mickey Barron. That the guys are playing with that consistency away from home. So that's got to continue. But I think the freshness of a manager, the outward going that Neil Cooper is, and you know, you've been to his press conferences. That they're quite relaxed, but they're professional and they're purposeful. And I think that's what he's taken into the players. He's saying to them, "Come on, you can't play good football when you're all uptight. Forget about wins away from home and wins at home. Get out and play football and relax." And I think it's coming through to them now.
Yeah, it is certainly. Frank mentioned Neil Cooper's press conferences. He really is a joy to go and meet every week. He's laid back. He's jovial. He's game for a laugh, and I think that falls down to the players as well. And there's certainly been an uplift in spirits, I think, since his arrival. As much as the players protested that things were okay otherwise, they obviously weren't. They'd lost 9 in a row at home, and Cooper's reversed that, and fair play to him. It is another home game this Saturday, and a big one as well, against Carlisle United, the Northern Derby, shall we say. And Frank, how do you see that one going?
It's going to be a hard game. Their away end is practically sold out now, so that's how much their fans are looking forward to coming to Hartlepool. It will be a hard game. It's 3 points will pull us right up close to them.
It would.
They're just outside the playoffs. We're just outside the chasing bunch. This could get us back up there. It's an important game. It's a game we can't lose. We can't lose at home again. You know, we've broken that duck. Tight. I'll be looking for a close win, to be honest. I'll be looking for us to start and get a couple of goals.
I hope you're right, Frank. I certainly do. As you said there, I think, especially the identity of the opponents as well. We beat Carlisle United earlier in the season, back in September, and it was a win which took us 3 or 4 points clear of them and into the playoff places. Now, since then, the contrast of the fortunes of the two sides has been quite marked. Carlisle, as early as last week, were in the playoff places themselves, and I know they were held at home to Walsall on Saturday, but they've got a half-decent side there, and they'll be coming looking for revenge after Hartlepool's win at Brunton Park earlier in the campaign, as I said just there. But it will be tough. I think that's a given, but I just think the Cooper factor in the home win against Rochdale last week, that battling point down at Sheffield Wednesday, and I'm going to join Frank on this one. For once, I hope we're both right. I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to go for a narrow victory to Hartlepool United. Scorelines wise, come on, we'll give it a go. I think it's going to be an entertaining 2-1 win.
I'm not going to disagree with that. I said a couple of goals, 2 for us. If they get one, we'll give them one.
Yeah, this is scary, Frank. We're singing from the same hymn sheet, so to speak. But but let's hope in 7 days' time we're reflecting in such sort of positive manner as I hope it has been today, because we really enjoyed Saturday. We did. I thought it was a brilliant point, and tails are certainly going up this weekend. So we'll see you again next Monday. Enjoy the game this weekend, and let's hope it's a victory for Hartlepool United.